Fairly met, newcomer. Wait, you're the one who was harassing Lyrindel earlier. I presume you've come to talk about this business with the orc. The ruins, eh? A good enough place as any to put that witless oaf in his place. You do know that Lyrindel has fought and won some 80 duels, don't you? No matter. Lyrindel grudgingly accepts this challenge. We shall meet you near the ruins.
There's my favorite second. Feels like I've been warming these knuckles up for hours. So, what's the story? That scrawny prig accept my challenge? Just look at this sword. I couldn't kill a squirrel with this thing. And this is a name? Looks like somebody's grocery list. Ah, it doesn't matter. I'll improvise.
I formally present Lyrindel, cherished son of the Nevulurel, to accept the orc Rogazog's challenge. So, ready to watch Lyrindel skewer your friend? Skewer may be too harsh a word. We're only fighting to first blood, of course. But then again, accidents do happen. And to whom do you issue this challenge? I'm afraid you'll have to be more specific. Honestly, you can't even muster the brain power to recite the first of his names. Try again, if you please. Once again, to whom do you issue this challenge? Go on. Go on. Ah, there we are. Was that really so hard? Lyrindel accepts Rogazog's challenge and stands ready to fight. I trust your thick-headed friend is duly prepared.
Let's get this over with, shall we?
Yeah, let's do that. Come here, fancy pants.
He just... but the rules state... Look, I won't tell anyone about this if you won't. I'll say, I don't know, Lyrindel fell from his horse. Yes, that's it. Just keep that orc away from me.
Ha! By Malakat, that felt good. You know, I never punched a high elf before. Felt like punching a pillowcase full of pudding. Almost feel bad for the little runt. Almost. Huh. Yeah, normally I'd put on a show, but this was personal. Honestly, I took it easy on him. If I'd really poured it on, he'd be breathing through his ear hole. Anyway, thanks for all the help. You ever need somebody knocked out, you let me know, eh?
Tell me you are real, my friend, and not another mind trick sent by the vile slugs to deceive me. The Marines. We followed rumors of some new kind of magic. Discovered the geysers. Sea-slowed magic. Something to do with abyssal pearls. The geysers spout terrible sea creatures and undead. Bokorgan, the sea-slowed, is working to increase their power. Our report contains all the details. The High Elf Marine, Indirum. He's a mage, though nowhere near as powerful as Kynar. He compiled notes about the geysers, most of which I didn't understand. When the Yagra attacked, we split up. The Marines headed down the coast. I should survive. I've suffered similar injuries in the past. As soon as I gather my strength, I'll make my way back to Eleanor.
You're back. Kainar returned and said you went in search of Maria and the Marines. Tell me, is the sea slowed threat as dire as the Queen's cat intimated? Eight protect us. A cabal of sea slodes, high elf traitors, magic geysers that can sink the island. I ask you to look into one threat, and you bring me a multitude. Still, this confirms the rumors. Now that we know, we can plan accordingly. Normally, I'd dispatch every soldier at my disposal to deal with these geysers. However, the ongoing war has depleted our forces. It might be time to reach out to more people like you and Kainar's adventurers. For now, take this with my thanks. The work you did to bring us information on the sea slode? Brilliant. That's only the beginning, however. Now we need to act on that information before the Abyssal Cabal can inflict too much damage on the island. The sea slodes have unleashed abyssal geysers that can sink the island. They assumed we'd be so concerned with the creatures that bubbled out of them that we'd fail to realize the true danger until it was too late. Let's disappoint them, shall we? Destroy the geysers. Find them and obliterate them as quickly as you can. You'll need to fight through the creatures spawned by the geysers, so bring allies with you if you can. And make sure to destroy the pearls. That's the source of the magic. There's nothing else to discuss until those abyssal geysers have been destroyed. Get to it, and may the stars guide you in this task. Just what was in the report you brought back. The Sea Slode Cabal has seeded the island with enchanted abyssal pearls. The magic in the pearls somehow opens the geysers and calls forth the creatures. They plan to use the geysers to sink Summerset. What I wouldn't give to have enough soldiers for such a mission. Unfortunately, most of the Dominion military currently defends the Queen's honor in Cyrodiil. I'm left with a small defense force and whatever help I can scrounge up. You, for example.
Pardon me, but I'd rather be left alone right now. I'm dealing with a rather personal loss, and not in the mood for conversation. Corpse. Nefarian is dead. This note. By the stars, I can barely believe what it says. He was the one who killed Mother. Because he had turned into a... Who else have you told about this? Excellent. And by your own admission, he's dead. I honestly can't think of a better conclusion to this whole affair. I'll just say he was kidnapped or some such. Here's a reward, both for delivering the letter and keeping this matter discreet. Thank you for understanding. Hopefully I can put this whole affair behind me soon. Is it so strange to feel relief at such an outcome? You read Nefarian's letter. He wanted his affliction to be kept a secret. He knew the repercussions this would have on our families. Honestly, I'm sure he is too. Better to die in honor than live in disgrace. And I do mourn his loss. He was an excellent candidate for marriage. It could take decades before I'm matched with another betrothed. As a fellow High Elf, I expected you to understand. My family's name, Nefarian's family's name. That's all that matters. Nothing else.
Vindilwyn told me where she sent you. I've been having the most interesting conversation with this divine prosecution person here. Did you know the tall elves have at least 3 rules for every possibility? Oh, did you find the stolen goods? Rigert is so happy he could kiss you! The last time I did that, though, Thane Mera punched me in the nose, so... I know. Let's give the good Justiciar one of my Nord keepsakes. Which one do you think he'd like best? Interesting. The stuffed goat represents stoic bravery, and she never breaks any rules. I mean, how could she? She's dead. Anyway, she stands for all the same things as the divine prosecution. Yes, I think that's the perfect gift to give to the Justiciar. The Nord Cultural Exchange proudly returns the Queen's stolen items. And this stuffed goat, it's a Nord treasure.
Remarkable work. I'll grant you that writ of authenticity now. A word of advice. If Vindilwyn refuses to help, remind her that the divine persecution might remember the incident at the Battle Reeve's dinner party.
You've picked a bad day for a stroll in the park. Something's got into the animals. They're running wild, frenzied. I don't suppose you saw an Indrik on your way here, a tame one? She's my charge, and pride of the Queen's menagerie. I need to find her. The Royal Menagerie. It holds exotic species from all over Tamriel. Now they're running loose, attacking the keepers and each other. It's a slaughter. It's too dangerous for a gentle Indrik like Lotus. Please, can you help me search for her? Oh, Lotus has only ever known kindness, gentle as a lamb. I hand-reared her from birth. She fled in the chaos, but she won't make it on her own. I have to find Lotus before she's hurt. Or worse. This is the only place she's ever known. She won't have wandered far. I hope. I wasn't at the epicenter of it all. I was about to feed Lotus when I started hearing the animals in a frenzy, yowling and slamming against their pens. Once the mammoths broke free, the whole place came apart at the seams. Total pandemonium. Indriks vaguely resemble deer, but you'd never mistake the two. Their horns and antlers sparkle like crystal, and their fronds and feathers are vibrant in any light. When Jeffers spun their shape, he made a tapestry of all life. I raised her from a fawn, watched her grow up. I can't imagine losing her this way. And the Queen would never forgive me. She and Lotus were inseparable, until the duties of the crown called her away. I made a vow to care for Lotus in her stead. A gift from the sovereign to his daughter when she was barely knee-high. Before she became queen, Her Highness spent many a day frolicking through the royal menagerie with Lotus. Hard to imagine now, I know. I didn't see anyone else come this way, but I hope the others made it to safety. I'd rather not dwell on the alternative. If anyone's still in peril, we should lend our aid. I don't see any sign of her here. Did you find anything? Stars! I've seen wild mammoths charge the enclosure walls, but they usually give up pretty quickly. I've never seen one driven to battering itself to death. Not by anger, not even by panic. That would be an explanation, but it came on so suddenly. It seemed to afflict all the animals at once. Except Lotus. She was spooked, but not aggressive. I hope that's still the case. Right. Let's head further inside. find something? I don't see any new tracks. She didn't try returning to the enclosure. Find anything that might put us on her trail? Huh. Let me see that. Smells... off. Starting to turn color, too. It shouldn't have gone bad so quickly. I've never seen an animal react so violently to spoiled food, and nothing this tainted would have passed our inspections. I think something was added, probably close to feeding time. No, it couldn't be. We care for these animals like they were our kin. No one I know would harm one of these poor creatures, let alone do something like this. No, thank the gods. I just deposited it here when the trouble started. I don't think she'd graze on any now that it's become foul, but I'd rather not risk it. We should keep searching.
Help! Someone, help!
Did you hear that? Someone's in trouble. This way!
Thought I was a goner, like the others. Those lions crept up on me while I was distracted. Thought I was done for. Who are you, anyway? Some friend of Talamar's?
Elise, what are you still
He came back to find Lotus? I know he takes his duties seriously, but that's insane. I think I saw her drinking by the reflecting pool, but she's skittish. Bolted the second she saw me passing by. Good luck catching her. No thanks. I appreciate the help, but I'm not sticking around to herd Indrix in this mess. I'm getting out of here before I wind up something's lunch. You should do the same. Good luck with your Indrik hunt, Talamar. Try not to get killed.
Elise, wait! We need to stay together! Damn it. Let's hope we have better luck with Lotus. So much for enlisting the help of other keepers. I just hope Elise's encounter with the lions will make her more cautious. Running off like that isn't a promising start. What was her hurry, anyway? Sorry, didn't seem the time for an introduction. Elise is one of the junior keepers. She really cares for the animals, but she's only got about 10 years under her belt. She shouldn't be working alone. Must have gotten separated from her tutor. She was probably still in shock. Elise has always been a sweet and diligent caretaker, though she has been distant lately. Of course, with some talented exceptions, the average apprenticeship period is 50 years. If we only dealt with local species, 10 years might be within the realm of possibility, but not here. Lotus!
Get a hold
Easy,
of your
girl.
beast,
I'm here.
Talamar. So, you managed to teach it some discipline after all.
The good news is, we found Lotus. The bad news is, the conservator is in an even more foul mood than usual. Be polite, please.
The royal menagerie is closed to the public at the moment. What are you doing here? His Indrik? You mean the royal family's Indrik? Every animal here is property of the crown. He would be wise to remember that before his personal attachment interferes with his duties. Regardless, your search is over. She'll be secured in the inner paddocks until order is restored. This act of sabotage will not be easy to recover from. You claim you arrived after the incident? I believe you. Whoever drugged today's feed supply knew too much about our procedures to have been an outsider. You may go, but I want you off my grounds. Talamar can escort you out, since watching Lotus seems too much for him. Talamar, take your new friend here and get off my grounds. The Rangers will take things from here.
But Lotus... Yes, Conservator. Sorry about all this. I just want you to know that even if the Conservator doesn't appreciate your efforts, I am truly grateful for your help. Conservator Vinalora. She's the appointed curator of the Royal Menagerie. All the keepers and rangers serve at her pleasure. I wouldn't take it personally. She's not one for niceties under the best of circumstances. If she really believes a keeper is responsible for sabotaging the menagerie, I can't say I blame her. I can hardly believe it, but it's the only explanation that makes any sense. Gods, no! I've worked with everyone here for decades. I just hope Vinalora catches the monster. Thank you again for helping me keep Lotus from harm.
Over here. We need to talk.
Elise? I thought you had already left. What are you doing sulking around here?
I didn't want to get you too involved, but I need help and there's no one else I can turn to. I was the one who drugged the animals. The plan wasn't for them to break loose, just stir up a fuss so I could slip into the conservatory unnoticed. Evidence. The menagerie is a facade. The ugly truth behind Sylvar Woad isn't so pretty. There are entire sections blocked off from most of the keepers. Vinalora and her rangers guard them like a vault. The animals they take there never come back. People who question Vinalora don't last here. If she claims the animal is a risk of some kind, it's just quarantined in the inner paddock, never to be seen again. Something terrible is going on, and I mean to expose it. Help me prove that. It's going to take a lot more convincing for Talamar, I can tell. I don't know that he'll ever forgive me for the mess I've made here. But maybe you can get him to hear me out? I'm a spy for the Queen. I mean, I was a keeper first, but when the Queen asks you to serve, you serve. She asked me to keep an eye on Vinalora before she left for her coronation, but the Conservator has stonewalled my advancement. To her, I'm just some uppity Nebara trying to rise above my station. But once it became clear I wasn't going to get into her good graces, I had to improvise. We see how well that turned out. Hey, we can't all be slick and daring Khajiit of mystery. All I know is, healthy animals are disappearing, and her story doesn't add up. She could be selling them to wealthy Altmer to line her own pockets, or even butchering them to sell their parts to craft workers. I don't know. More than anything, I want to make sure it wasn't all for nothing. If I can find the proof that Vinalora is abusing these animals, then maybe it will have been worth it, and Talamar can at least understand why I took the risk I did.
She poisoned all these animals. She almost poisoned Lotus. And for what? It's true that I've never seen an animal move to the inner paddocks that's returned to outer enclosures, but she's suggesting what? That the conservator is culling the herd? I mean, this is a crisis. Lotus is the prize of the menagerie. She wouldn't... This is insane. You know that? What do you need from me? It's a bit morbid, but I would search the bodies by the staff quarters near the main entrance. One of Vinalora's rangers might have had a key. All right, Elise, I'll help you. But if we don't find anything unusual in the conservatory, I'm turning you over to Vinalora myself.
Deal. If I'm crazy, go ahead and turn me in. But you know there's something going on here, Talmar.
Let's just get this over with. Did you find the keys? I'm feeling exposed out here.
Ew. What's that smell? It's coming from over here. I knew they were up to something here. Smells awful. Alchemical. This equipment isn't incriminating enough on its own, though. Vinalora could justify it for medicinal uses. We need to find evidence that can't be explained away so easily. Samples, records, a test subject. Anything that proves without a doubt that the animals here are being used for something other than conservation. There's probably more upstairs. Whoa. These poor creatures. Let's find out what Vinalora was doing with them. Hey, what are you reading over there? You found something important, didn't you? I could read it on your face from across the room. What's in those papers? Vinalora, you piece of... This is everything I need to prove she's been abusing her position here. I have to get this to the Proxy Queen. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but he deserves to know. Let's find him and get out of here before our luck runs out. This should be all I need. Where did Talamar wander off to?
Disobedience doesn't suit you, Talamar. Uncooperative animals don't last long here.
What have you done with Lotus, you monster?
I'd be more concerned for yourself right now.
It can't end here! There has to be something we can do to stop her!
Keep Vinalora distracted. I've got an idea.
Try something rash, and Talamar will sprout an arrow from the eye. You've all caused me enough trouble for one day. They're a very special beast. Revered, even, as blessed beings who are as graced by the gods as we Ultima. They are a gift to our people, not found anywhere else in the world, and we have squandered their potential too long. Maintaining our natural primacy. What else? The mongrels of Tamriel infest everything. Even our unspoiled isles now. But their overgrowth can be curbed. They only need a natural predator. The Indrix will be our immortal Adric avengers. You're in no position to stop me. This enclosure is as strong as a fortress, and these barriers are impenetrable by even the Indric's effortless teleportation. Surrender before my... What was that? No! The wards! The Indrics will run wild! Elise! I should have known you'd be behind this!
Good luck containing your experiments. We'll give your regards to the Queen.
This isn't over, mongrel! You'll all pay for this!
Damn Vinalora! I can't let her turn Lotus into some sort of monster. I have to find her. It should be me. I'm the closest to family she has next to the Queen. Oh, I feel so helpless. Promise me you'll bring back Lotus unharmed. I don't know what to think about that. Finding Lotus comes first. If she's changed, you just have to get through to her. Thank you for everything. Be careful.
Vinalora must have been more shaken than she looked. She didn't hit anything vital, far as I can tell. I don't usually work on people, but if I can stitch up feuding a Chater, I can handle this. You can't be serious. There's nothing stopping Lotus from escaping on her own now. We've got what we need to bring Vinalora down. There's no reason to risk your life. He's lucky to have found someone as foolish as he is. At least take my ward breaker, in case Vinalora reactivates the cages. I'll get Talamar out of harm's way. Good luck, all right?
I've been wanting to see how the latest serum performs in live tests. Let's find out.
Lotus! She's all right! Thank Zephyr! Oh, thank you!
Damn it, Talamar! You're going to reopen that wound. You'd never know he'd just been shot by the way he's acting. He really does care about that Indrik more than anything.
It's so good to see Lotus alive and well. I couldn't stop thinking of her scared and injured, or worse. If Vinalora had turned her into some kind of monster, I swear, we should flee before Vinalora and her rangers come after us. Gods, that's terrible. I won't shed tears over Vinalora. She had to be stopped. But I'm so sorry you have her blood on your hands. I guess this is the end of the royal menagerie. With the conservator gone, there's no one in charge of trying to get this place back in order. It'll all come apart by the time the proxy queen allocates a replacement. If she allocates a replacement. Me? Run the menagerie? I'd love to see it put back the way I remember it. But will it ever be the same now that I know what was really happening here? I could just take Lotus and put all this behind us. Yes, I know myself well enough to know I would be miserable just abandoning this place. I've poured so much of my life into it. Maybe I can do some good here. Change the way these animals are treated. These animals deserve better than to be left to fend for themselves. I owe them that much. I'll do everything I can for them. You have my word. Don't suppose I could declare it a wildlife preserve and leave the animals to roam freely, could I? I'm going to have my work cut out for me getting this place back in order. I'll take notice and try to find other survivors who escaped the chaos. Convincing them to return won't be easy, but I'm certain I can get at least a few other keepers and rangers to follow my lead. After that, a whole lot of wrangling. She's gone, and their operation is in shambles. I don't see why they'd stick around. But I'll be sure to burn their research at the first opportunity. Nothing like that will ever happen again under my watch. Wild Indriks are aggressive towards things they perceive as threats. Even if Vinalora hadn't given them her vile serums, they couldn't have been happy about being penned up like cattle. There may be hope for them, if the legends are true. It is said that when Indrik die, their souls don't leave Mundus. Instead, Jeffra plants them back into the land to sprout again as reborn fawns. If it's true, you think they remember their old lives? I like to believe Lotus will remember me. Then I do hope they forgive us for her transgressions. I'll do my best to make it up to any others I meet. She endangered every living thing here with the stunt she pulled. It'll be days before we know the final toll of stopping Vinalora. I know Elise did this for the right reasons, but I don't know that I can forgive her for all this bloodshed. That's what makes it hard. Everything worked out for me. It's not my grudge I'm holding on to. It's theirs. All those innocent lives. She's a good person, but I'm going to need time.
What kind of monster arranges acacias and begonias in the same beds? If you've come to bask in the splendor of my latest outdoor arrangement, you're too late. They're ruined. Cast into unsightly disarray by a barbaric vandal. Just go home and spare yourself the disappointment. My garden, my art, has been violated, desecrated by some vulgar wood elf who thinks being raised in the wild gives him the right to pervert my designs. Now he's threatening my life. Can you believe it? Not just a garden, the very art of gardening. Eslian is waging a war on Altmer horticulture. I represent everything he despises, so he's targeting my work. He's gone too far this time, planting stranglers to ward me away. They could kill someone. Stranglers are a stubborn breed. Hacking them up would only be a temporary solution. What I need is proof that the wood elf is responsible, so he can't do any more damage. Perhaps Eslian left something at my gardens that could be incriminating? Weeks ago, Eslian came here to convince me that wilderness should be allowed to grow unchecked and untamed, as in Greenshade. Obviously, I found his argument lacking. It wasn't long after that the tampering began. Of course, but they are of little help. Can't spare time for criminal mischief. It seems sullying our pristine lands doesn't count among the worst things all these Nebara are up to. It's obvious who the culprit is, but I lack proof, so he runs free. The wood elf's tampering is sloppy, careless, maybe even thoughtless. I'm sure he's left traces of his work. A discarded trowel, foreign seeds, his own dung, or whatever a wood elf uses to fertilize soil. It'd be trivial if not for the stranglers. I am the foremost authority of the Altmer botanical arts. My vision has literally shaped the lay of the land from Alinor to Sunhold, and my best arrangements grace the royal palace. If you take issue with our methods, you take issue with me. Occasionally, there are always up-and-comers looking to stir up controversy or make their mark, but no one who desired any respect in the field would stoop to sabotage or assault. He called our wilderness sterile and artificial. Nature is unruly and chaotic, but he's rather missing the point. Orderly cultivated gardens are a refinement of the raw. A plant lacks the intelligence to reach its true potential. It must be guided. Those monstrosities aren't native to any isle of Summerset, and they couldn't have crossed the seas naturally. Even if they could, the stranglers would be more widespread. They were brought here and planted deliberately among my arrangements.
Sorry. It's safe over this way. Follow me.
Would it kill them to run away? Well, no, I guess it wouldn't. Maybe they should try that.
I don't think anything untoward's taken root here. Let's, have a chat, shall we? Hope those stranglers didn't hurt you. They're ornery buggers. Nearly ate my fool cousin one time, but he was so drunk that... no, never mind, not the time. As you can see, there's a bit of an infestation. Real mess. Has me a bit at a loss. Oh, have we met? Sorry, I don't remember. Never been good with names, or faces, or most details, really. Mom used to say my head would drift straight into the clouds if not for the canopy. Were you looking for me? Me? No. Well, yes, but not intentionally. You see, my brother's a bit of a prankster, and strangler seeds look a lot like white acacia. The short of it is, I did plant them. I just didn't know they were stranglers, and now I'm trying to get rid of them. Killing them's not the hard part. I'll brew a poison that'll choke the roots until they're brown in the fronds. Trouble is, can't think of a way to use it without breaking the Green Pact. It's a real moral quandary. Oh, yeah, that'd do. Whew, that's a load off my shoulders. Dribble a bit of this in the water sources around here and the stranglers should die off in a few weeks. Just the stranglers, though, promise. I should go apologise to Vinify for this. Oh, vandalise? Me? I'm not the one herding plants in a cramped little rose. Lashing vines to stakes, amputating the branches of perfectly healthy trees to warp them to some unnatural ideal. I was just showing her what natural beauty looks like. Well, the moment I spoke to her, I could tell she'd never seen untamed wilds. Her entire concept of nature is perverse, if I'm blunt. I thought if I could breathe some life into those sterile gardens, she might finally see what she's missing. Well, I'm sure this little misunderstanding with the Stranglers didn't help my case, but that's a bit much. I should clear things up with Vinifwe before this situation gets any more out of control. All the stories I've heard about Summerset described it as a paradise. Pristine, idyllic, beautiful. The moment I heard the High Elves were opening the Isles to visitors, I knew I had to see them. Now that I'm here, it just feels fake. You know, artificial. Like everything is an imitation. It's like nothing can be its true self. Everything down to the last blade of grass has to be manicured, forced to be something it's not. It's not beautiful. It's tyranny. But it's the wilderness. Birds make their nests and Bosmer grow their homes. But beyond those borders, it's Ifra's domain. I don't expect everyone to abide the Green Pact, but enslaving the land like this just feels wrong. Sort of a vow, a promise to the Green, that we'd protect it from harm and in return it would be our own. Now I know we're not in Valenwood, but those seeds are of the Green, and the idea of harming them makes me sick to the core. Better believe it. Any Bosmer who so much as plucks a petal from the Green is doomed to the ooze. Song left unsung forever after. Like you never were. Even if you don't think much of yourself, there's something to fear in that. For you, sure, it's not your pact. For me, I'm hoping so. I'm supposed to protect the Green, but we're a long ways from there. Ifra, forgive me if I'm wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
You there! Come! I need assistance. Newcomer, I have been on my feet for nearly an hour, and I have just about had enough of it. Be so kind as to retrieve my absentee husband and my dear Eustasia, so I might be finished with this so-called leisure stroll. Of course they're missing. My fool husband let our prized hound off her leash to frolic along the beach. Poor Eustasia didn't know what to make of her freedom, and went charging off after a hare. Durell took off in pursuit, and I've seen neither since. Into the wilderness, off toward that old way shrine. How far could they have really gone? I would give anything to have my precious Eustasia safely in my arms again. Find her for me, and I will make it worth your while. I should be reclining on my lounge with a quarter-millennium-aged port and Eustasia nestled in my bosom. But no, Durell insisted we take a stroll along the beach. Go traipsing off into the woods? What do you take me for? That's better left to people accustomed to such conditions. I am precisely as concerned as I need to be, but I don't see how that's any of your business. If Durell hadn't put me in this very awkward position, I wouldn't need to be concerned at all. A prized waxing terrier. It took 16 generations of careful selection to produce a breed distinct from the common Glenumbran terrier. The region is known for its impurities. I took it as a challenge. Merely a hobby, but one I excel at. My darlings have taken best in show at every show in Summerset. I have even been awarded a commendation for excellence in breeding by the Sapiarchs. Oh, my dear Eustacia! Look at her shaking! She's positively terrified! What happened? Yes. He commissioned this on the announcement of our wedding. Gaudy thing. He's dead, you say? Just like Durrell to leave me a mess to clean up. Keep that bauble for your trouble. It must be worth something to someone. Oh, what a disaster! It will take weeks to get the mats out of her coat. Well, I can't tell anyone he died chasing our dog into the woods, can I? It's beneath my dignity. I'll have one of the servants return for him after I've given Eustacia a proper bath. I imagine I'll say he was killed hunting or some such. You see the doe-eyed adoration of that dog? That's the look of a creature who loves too much for her own good. Bless her. Durrell was the same way, and look where that got him. I suggest you invest your own cares more prudently and move along.
My lady, we need to keep moving. You can't help Sunhold if you're
Why,
dead.
look at that. Seems help has arrived after all. As Kin Lady of Sunhold, I implore you to hear my plea. My city has been overrun by the Maormer, and Admiral Viscount declares only my death will stop this attack. He hates my family and demands my head, but I know surrender will not save my people. For centuries, Sunhold has been the first line of defense against Maormer raiders. Many of their soldiers have fallen by my family's command, and now, with our fleet gone and soldiers depleted, they've decided to strike. I need your help. Destroy the Maormer supplies gathered along the shore. Rescue any citizen you find captured, and free Sunwell, a griffin from capture. She's not only the city's symbol, she's also the best weapon we have at our disposal. Will you help? Kavid and I shall head to the Merchants' District. I need to investigate the area and see whether Maormer may be holding Sunhold's nobles prisoner. Meet me there when you've completed your tasks, and we'll assess the situation. Griffins have always been our city's symbol. Majestic, strong, fierce. Sunhold is often the first line of defense against invaders, and we need a griffin's strength. Sunwell just happens to embody that spirit, as her ancestors did before her. Not so much of a pet as a representation of the city's spirit. The ruling family has always kept a tame bloodline of the creatures. Well, tame as a griffin can be. I was practically raised alongside Sunwell. She's like a member of my family. Griffins are fiercely territorial. As soon as she's freed, Sunwell will hunt down those she perceives as invaders, and as a symbol of Sunhold, she'll also inspire my citizens to keep fighting. What Sunhold needs is hope, now more than ever. An invasion isn't too unusual for Sunhold, given the city's location. It's why we hold one of the best naval fleets in Summerset. However, most of our ships have been sent to help the war effort, and now it seems our worst fears have come to life. Yes, though it pains me to admit it. My city burns and my people are in chains. If only we could turn the tide, we might have a fighting chance to resist this invasion, at least until reinforcements can arrive. Admiral Viscount's cunning as a leader is the reason this invasion has been so successful. His death could turn the tide of battle, but he's far too protected to strike against. It is he who calls for my blood, as Kinlady of Sunhold. As Kinlady, I am the ruler of Sunhold. My death would leave my citizens without a leader to guide them. Even so, I would quickly give my life if I thought it would save my city. Only a fool trusts a sea snake. My death is only to sate the Maormer's hatred of those who have triumphed against them, a victory against Summerset. But as Kinlady, I also cannot hide while my city suffers. We must fight back.
Blood!
It was an ambush! Admiral Viscarn has the Kinlady up ahead! You have to stop them!
You will tell me where the Kinlady is.
Will no one come to my aid? Forget the nobles! Deal with those intruders! I can't save Kin Lady Helena with these wounds. It's up to you now. The Maormer were waiting for anyone stupid enough to raid supplies from the smithy. I tried to fight, but they grabbed the Kin Lady and ran off. You need to defeat Admiral Viscarn before it's too late. Sunhold won't last if the Kin Lady's killed.
So you're the ones helping this wretch. I'll put a stop to your meddling once and for all. Sunhold is ours by blood and fire. There's no use fighting back when we've already won.
You're getting good at this.
Defeated.
Probably shouldn't be proud of that.
Thank the stars you arrived. I thought my life forfeit. Viscarn was ranting before you came, burned supplies, released prisoners, a griffin now roaming the skies, picking off sea elves like the rats they are. Tell me, was that your doing? With Admiral Viscarn dead, now is the time to strike. I shall rally my people and call Sunnerwell to my side. We'll form a resistance the likes of which these sea snakes have never known. Thank you for making this all possible. With the Maormer down and Admiral Viscarn defeated, I'm sure my citizens will join together and fight. All we have to do is keep Sunhold standing until help arrives. I'm glad he's all right. To think, not so long ago I argued against opening Summerset's borders, and yet without the help of newcomers, Sunhold would never have survived. I'll forever be grateful for the deeds you've done today.
I told you, this is all just a misunderstanding. Oh, friend, a little help? Hi again. In a bit of a bind, as you can see. I tried to apologize, I really did, but she's telling the prosecution I've been terrorizing her. I could use some good news. How'd you fare with those stranglers? Oh, thank Ifra for that. It'll take some time for them to die off, but they'll be too sick to hurt anyone soon. Could you explain that to the good officers of the law here? How this was all an unfortunate accident and I helped make it right? I did meddle a bit, but I didn't mean any harm by it. Surely tossing me in jail's blowing the whole thing out of proportion, right? Promise I'll never do it again. I'll even transplant my additions someplace where they'll be appreciated. Oh, you're a regular saint. I knew the minute I met you that we'd be peas in a pod. You can count on me to do right by Vinifwe. Still don't agree with her, but I'll think of a better way to make my point once this is all blown over.
You must be the concerned bystander I'm hearing so much about. Both Vinifwe and Esleon claim you can prove their case, which begs all sorts of questions. But I don't have time for that, so let's cut to the heart of the matter. Is Esleon guilty? Given that your testimony is the only real evidence I have, I see no reason to continue dragging out this affair. Esleon will be fined for trespassing and criminal mischief, then released. If I see him here again, he will be jailed. Free the prisoner.
Sorry, really. Truly sorry I am. Won't happen again, officer.
You aren't seriously taking his side in this? A slap on the wrist. It'll take months, if not years, to restore my work to its original condition. You've done me and Summerset a great disservice today. I haven't heard anything from the other groups I sent into the field, so give me your report. Have the Abyssal Geysers been dealt with? That's excellent news. Despite my misgivings, it seems the Queen's decree has been more of a blessing than a curse. I'm not sure what we would have done without the help of newcomers like you. You have my thanks and the gratitude of all of Summerset.
I honestly never expected to see either you or Ambassador Riggett again. Can I assume this means you acquired the items I specified? So I see. I'll just file the documents away for later review, and slip those tickets into my bodice for safekeeping. We should be able to process your request and schedule an appointment for, let's say, 5 weeks from next Maundus. You're lucky I'm entertaining the Nord's request at all. Take the appointment and be grateful for this time with the Proxy Queen. I know newcomers who would kill for a meeting sometime this year, let alone in 5 weeks. Now, if you don't mind.
Riggert is so disappointed. How can I negotiate peace if I can't even get an audience with the High Elf Proxy Queen? What a terrible predicament this has turned out to be. Do you have any brilliant ideas, my friend? Of course. Threaten the snooty High Elf with a scandal. High Elves hate scandals, snooty or otherwise. Watch how Riggert negotiates a difficult situation. No, better idea. You do it! That way Riggert gets to be the good Nord. More believable that way.
Back again? You and that Nord are worse than a plague of fell runners in a field of swamp nettles. What do you want this time? He did what? How dare he? Why, I have a mind to... No. I see how it is. Very well. Tell the ambassador I'm impressed by his ruthless use of rumor and innuendo. I'll let the Proxy Queen know that Riggert is her next appointment.
What happened? Did the threatening words do the trick? Or is Riggert in even more trouble with the snooty High Elves now? She did? I mean, of course she did! Riggert had every confidence in you. Thank you, my friend. Take this with the gratitude of the Nord Cultural Exchange. I think you'll like it better than that stinky essence of mammoth that I saw you ogling.
Proxy Queen Eleanor Way, may I present the Nord Ambassador, Riggert the Brash.
Pleased to be seeing your beautiful face, Your Majesty. Sign the treaty, and we can break for dinner. Unless you want to be negotiating first.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves, Ambassador. I'll listen to what you have to say, and we'll see where the evening takes us.
As long as the evening includes lots of mead, that sounds fine to me.
Ambassador, I find your Nordish inclinations to be most refreshing.
Oh, Riggert has plenty of inclinations, Your Majesty.
We look forward to finding out all about your inclinations, Ambassador Riggert. Come along. The royal chef makes a rabbit meatball pie that you'll absolutely devour.
You may have forced my hand, but that doesn't mean the Nord Ambassador will be successful in his quest. Not that it matters to me. But I hope you realize you made an enemy in the court, newcomer. I will find a way to pay you back, mark my words.
Yeah.
That storm's worsening by the second. We're running out of time. Best head inland, traveler. Far as you can manage. It is only a matter of time before the tempest over Sea Keep moves down the coast, leaving ruin in its wake. I suppose it is. But we were driven from the keep long before the tempest began forming. Sea elves infiltrated our defenses and slaughtered the garrison. We're all that survived. That storm will finish the job unless I manage to stop it. It's no natural formation. The sea elves are conjuring it. If I could get within striking distance of their sea mage, I could break his hold on the storm and prevent the destruction to come. But that's a desperate hope for one mer. I hope you're a strong swimmer, incidentally. Here. This is the place. See that whirlpool? The currents are being drawn into the flooded ruins beneath Sea Keep. We should be able to follow them inside just as the sea elves did. It's that or we drown. If you want to back out, I understand. Good. I'm glad to have someone at my back. I couldn't ask any of my soldiers to do this. They've suffered enough for my mistakes, and it's just something I have to do. Come on, before the storm decides to sweep us away. 8, guide us. We made it! Too many years on dry land. There's a secret door in these ruins that will lead us directly into Sea Keep's dungeon. I can unseal it, but there's something you should know first. I had another reason to come here, when I couldn't share around my troops. The Maormer are holding the woman I love captive. I have to free her before the reinforcements from Alinor arrive. Because Castera is a sea elf. She is, or was, I suppose, the captain of the crew that attacked Sea Keep. Assuming her mutinous crew hasn't already done so, she'll be executed. Ultima don't suffer, Maormer. Bait. These ruins were the only place where Cass and I could see each other. Our secret safe place. She would signal, and I would use the secret door to meet her. Only this time, I was met by the sabers of her crew. They had her in chains. Yes, the blood of the garrison is on my hands. I killed them with my secret. I can't take that back, but maybe I can save what's left. The survivors, the keep, and the woman I love. I last saw Cass in the dungeon. With any luck, she's still there, and unharmed. I didn't. The sea elves waylaid me and tossed me in the dungeon as soon as I unsealed the hidden passage. They only kept me alive because I was still of use to them. I slipped the leash on the battlements, where their sea mage was studying the keep's magical defenses. There was nowhere for me to run, so I took a leap of faith straight into the arms of the sea. Barely made it back to shore, but I survived. there's the secret door. Give me a moment to open the seal. Are you all right?
Pan? How did you... Never mind. Get me out of these chains.
I'll see to her bonds. Cass, I need you to tell us everything you know about what your crew is planning.
Is it just the two of you? I suppose it'd have to be. No one from his garrison would volunteer to help a Malma. You know the truth then. About us. You have to understand. The only thing lower than a mutineer to the Maorma is an Ultima. Consorting with one is tantamount to treason. Loving one, unforgivable. I made them party to the ultimate taboo. Now they're trying to wash away the stain. They're going to summon a storm so powerful it'll scour the entire coast clean, and this keep with it. There'll be no trace of my offense left, or anything to stand between Alinor and the Piandinian Armada. They'll be remembered as heroes. On the battlements, calling to the wind and sea. It'll be a hard slog to get there. My crew won't hesitate to lay down their lives to protect Ulsar.
I have a suggestion for our next move. Defeating Ulsar won't be as simple as rushing up the battlements and driving a sword through his heart. He has all the power of Seakeep at his command. It wouldn't even be a contest, but I have an idea to put us on equal footing. The magic in these Aldmer ruins are the hidden heart of Seakeep's power. Without them, we'd merely be high walls and harsh words, save a few war machines. Cutting off the flow of magicka to the battlements might give us the edge we need. There are fonts that channel the power of magicka through Seakeep. If we seal them, it should prevent Ulsar from drawing more power into his storm, but the results could be unpredictable. Sealing the fonts will be like trying to plug a dam with our fingers. At best, we'll staunch the flow enough to weaken him. At worst, the strain brings the whole keep down on us.
Pan, your plan's insane. I love it. Where do we start?
No. You have to run while you can, Cass. Even if we stop the storm...
Stow it, Pan. I'm as much to blame for this as you. I'm not leaving you to fix it yourself.
You're okay turning a blade on your own? There's no way to avoid it.
They stopped being my own the moment they mutinied.
Captain said not to come back unless I had plunder and a prison.
late to right the ship, Captain. Nothing left to do but sink
I'm
with
too
the rest.
stubborn to sink Tenerife. That's why I was captain. May your bones bleach on barren sands. Damned fool. There wasn't a shred of hesitation in Tenerife's eyes. He went to his grave hating me with every fiber of his being. My second mate. Former second mate. He was like a brother to me, but he turned his back like the rest. I don't know why I expected him to be different. Not that I deserved his forgiveness. I betrayed them first. I made vows to one of the tyrants that exiled our people from our rightful home. I've lost everything because of it. Maybe I was right when I thought we were cursed. Maybe I was never one of them to begin with. How many of those vipers would have charged in here to rescue me from capture? Pan was the right choice.
The gates are barred. The locking mechanisms are controlled from those two towers.
Easy enough. You take one, I'll take the other.
Be careful.
Aren't I always?
Damn it! I didn't see him escape, but I held out hope. I'm sorry, old friend. Rulatar was our ranking battle mage. I served alongside him for more than a century, but I left him to die here, alone. This should have been his command. He upheld his duty, fought to the end to hold this fort. I chose, selfishly, to follow my heart. I let down everyone who put their trust in me. We're not out of the storm yet, but I take your meaning. No matter what happens, I'll see her safe in the end. I swear it. That does it. Should meet Castira at the gate. This is it, Cass. Last chance to...
Don't try to talk me out of this, Pan.
Ursa and his storm lie beyond this gate. No matter what happens, I want to thank you for standing by me. If it weren't for you, I might never have gotten to see Castira again. If this is goodbye, at least it'll be one with closure. Charging headlong into the fray was easier when I had nothing to lose, but my courage is intact. I'm with you to the end.
Ulsar's up ahead, in the eye of the storm. He drove my crew to mutiny, tossed me in chains, and nearly killed the man I love. I'll drag him to the bottom of Mother Sea if it's the last thing I do. You remember our vows?
They were the only thing that kept us moored through that miserable storm.
Let's do it again. How often are we going to see a tempest like this in one lifetime?
You always were the romantic.
Shouldn't the storm be growing weaker?
I said it probably wouldn't get any stronger. Damn him! I can barely hold my footing!
Keep fighting! One of us has to make it!
Drag this wretched place into the deep. You can't tame the sea!
Your reinforcements! They're here, they can't see me with you.
Astera, wait!
It ends like it began. The two of us, adrift among the wreckage of our lives.
But alive and together.
Fortune smiles, with a shark's teeth. Ulsar's dead and his mutiny along with him. I only wish I had the strength to settle the score myself. If there was any justice in the world, he'd have been forced to concede that he'd never drown me in shame. I'll return home with my head held high. It'll be a long journey without a crew, but I'll manage. There's no shame in returning to port humbled but unbroken, though I think I'll steer clear of sun-kissed shores for some time. I love him, for some reason, but the walls between us are taller than this keep. Just to see him for a few fleeting moments commands such risk, it nearly destroyed everything we care about, and more. There's no place for us among Malma or Altma. Just leave it all behind. Live for ourselves. If only we'd just done that so long ago. Our mistake was trying to live two lives that were on a collision course from the start. We won't make it again. Thank you. I love you, Pan. But we can't go on like this.
I know, Cass.
We've been fighting against the current for years. It's time to see where it means to take us.
You mean, together?
If you're up for a swim.
Where would we go?
The storm could have carried us off to anywhere, Pan. Pretend it did.
Let's cast our fate to the wind.
If anyone asks, we were swept out to sea, never to return. Farewell.
This is where we part ways, friend. I wish I'd known more people like you in my life. Things might have been different if I had. The vanguard from Alinor has arrived, not a moment too soon. Tell the Battle Reeve what happened here, or as close to the truth as best serves you. After today, I'm dead to my people. It doesn't matter how I'm remembered.
Today's battle reaved Pandemalion. His soldiers said he returned to Seakeep with a passerby. One that matches your description? What is going on? Another noble soul lost to the Sea Elves. They've claimed too many in their relentless raiding. Vipers. We will take things from here. You are to be commended for your service to the Crown.
Did you get me killed?
less of those. Sheesh.